Hello everybody, welcome to Kaizoku Dad channel. Today we have a very different kind of video for you. Instead of my normal deck profile videos, today I wanted to do a One Piece TCG puzzle. And it's a puzzle where I present a scenario and you try to figure out lethal. That's kind of like the puzzle that I have in mind. And the reason why I'm doing something like this is because I noticed, especially for me, One Piece is a lot of One Piece is really just about math and finding out, calculating the right numbers to go for lethal. And if you're anything like me, you're probably kind of maybe a little bad at math, and so you need puzzles like these to kind of help you understand better and see the game in a different light. Um, just to help you kind of calculate better and know how much dawn to invest when trying to go for lethal, or if lethal is even possible. So that's why I am making these puzzle videos, and if you enjoy them, please let me know, just so I can continue making these videos. Generally, I just want my videos to be helpful for players, new players, and also players that have been playing for a while as well. So, but in this scenario, I do want to say that this one is inspired by a Japanese One Piece player who goes by Rizu Pak on Twitter. I'll go ahead and leave his profile in the description. He makes a lot of these kind of puzzles. It's all in Japanese, so it can be a little difficult to translate. But I've gone ahead and taken one of his posts and made a video about it. Changed it up a little bit, maybe just one card or so, but still, I want to give him credit for this. And the answer for the scenario that I'm gonna be talking about in this video, I'm just gonna present one way of doing lethal. The scenario, it's possible to do like one or two different ways of, you know, getting to lethal than the one that I'm gonna present in this video. So as a challenge, I want you guys to be able to think about it and find the other ways that I don't explain. And if you can find it, just go ahead and put it in the comment section, and see if you're right. I think there's at least one or two more. There might be more. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so that's the challenge for you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the scenario. So I'm going to explain what the scenario is, and then I'm going to let you guys kind of think about it. Maybe it'll do 30 seconds or so for you guys to think. You can also feel free to pause the video and take longer, take more time if you needed to think about it, but I'm just going to give you 30 minutes here in the video. But before that, let me just go ahead and explain the scenario. So, your law. You just started your turn. You're on 10 Dawn. This is your board. You have a Law on the field. You have a Zoro, and you have a Beige. This is your hand. You have Rush Luffy. We have Restand Law. We have a Brook. We have a Sanji, and we have a Nami. Last turn, your opponent, you're playing against Whitebeard. So last turn, they used Whitebeard. So they are, instead of 6,000 attack, they are at 8. And they have 1 Dawn left, and they have 3 cards in hand. Now, because I wanted to start off with an easy puzzle in this scenario, let's just assume that we know what the 3 cards are in their hand. Probably, let's just say that you saw them pick up a Radical Beam with a Buggy, and they never used it. And they used Dana, and they picked up an Otama, and they never used it. And then they used an Izo, and they picked up an Ace. So let's just say already what these 3 cards. For whatever reason. The future puzzles will probably keep these as unknown cards just to make it harder, but because this is an easy one, we're going to go ahead and just present these cards that you know what they are already. Okay, so the challenge here is that you need to win this turn. Since they have a Marco, an Otama, and a Radical Beam, your opponent potentially has 3 ways of blocking 3 different attacks. So you have to find a way to attack 4 times. And because you only have 3 cards on the board, in order to shambles, you need to play. You need to have 5 cards. So you need to play 2 more cards, all while swinging at least 8k with your leader, with your leader characters, just so that they can go through. So you have to be very efficient with your Dawn to be able to do this. But yes, that is the scenario. I'll go ahead and give you guys 30 seconds, starting now. Perfect. Let's go ahead and start. So our first move is we're going to go ahead and play our Brook and Nami from hand. So now 2 and 3, we're going to be at 7 Dawn left. Brook's on playability helps us. His on playability is to put 2 rested Dawn on a character or leader. So we're going to use We're going to use Brook's ability to put 2 Dawn on Zoro. We're going to use Nami's ability, which also puts 1 rested card onto a character or leader, and we're going to put that on Zoro as well. So this was the most efficient way to put 5 cards on the field while not wasting any Dawn. So those 3 Dawn on Zoro, we're going to go ahead and attack 8k, the minimum amount, into Whitebeard. And in this case, we're just going to assume that Whitebeard's going to use Otama from their hand to block the first attack from Zoro. So now they don't have Otama anymore. They have 2 cards in hand, but they still have their blocker. After attacking with Zoro, we're going to use 2 more Dawn and we're going to put it on our blocker Law. So now we go from 7 Dawn to 5 Dawn left. And with Law, we're just going to attack again with the minimum 8k into leader. In this scenario, Whitebeard has the option to either use Radical Beam or Marco to block this attack. They are going to go ahead and use Marco to block this attack. So that's 2 attacks now that Whitebeard has blocked. For our third attack, we're going to go ahead and put 3 Dawn on our leader. So that means we're going to have 2 Dawn left. Our leader is going to have 8 Dawn, or I'm sorry, 8,000 attack. And we're going to swing into Whitebeard for, again, the minimum amount, forcing him to use the last card remaining, which is Radical Beam. And then finally, we're going to use our last 2 Dawn to use our leader's ability. We're going to bounce the Brook and put down Trafalgar Law, restand Law. So we had to use Brook or Nami because we need to switch out a red with a green as a requirement for Law's ability. And then once we have the restand Law, we can either use him to restand Zoro or Law, since they're both at 8k, and then we're going to swing for our 4th and final attack into Whitebeard, and we know that that is game because they have no further ways to counter the 4th attack. And that is one of the answers for this scenario. Perhaps you came up with a different answer, and that is perfectly fine. I want you to comment in the section what your answer was, how you thought about it, how you were able to get to lethal using this exact same scenario. So just go ahead and explain kind of in order what you did, and just so that everyone can kind of see and learn from that as well. So that's the whole purpose of these puzzle game videos, is that we learn together based on these different scenarios. And in these scenarios, you know, they're going to get harder. They're going to be involved different cards, different leaders. And, you know, if you guys enjoyed it, just let me know. That way we can all make more and keep learning together. That way you guys can also share your ways of finding lethal. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a lot shorter than than the videos that I'm used to making with deck profile videos, but I think it's really helpful, especially for new players, or for players that kind of struggle um, with math, and just finding the most efficient way to swing for lethal, and just taking into consideration everything that's on the field and in the opponent's hand. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys like it, and until the next one.